Hello everyone and welcome back. I want to go ahead and get this tuning mechanism put back in the radio. And one thing, it's when I put the dial glass back on, you can see I've got everything aligned this way. Of course, this knob needs to go in. Looks like about a 45-degree angle. Someone needs to just pull this band back off here. No big deal, and just slide the dial scale around, then replace that ring. So I'll probably go ahead and do this first and get this removed, and then just put the pointer and everything on last and get this mechanism itself put in and aligned, and then try to get the dial itself more of a north to south and west to east here. So I've got a nice horizontal plane, and this thing tracks well. So we'll do that. Again, you saw some still photos. I'd already removed the temporary line cord that I had on. And I've got the tuning condenser lubricated, and it's nice and free. And again, this mechanism now is just very free. So no issues or concerns there for this. So let me do that off camera. Again, I'm going to just go ahead and remove this piece. Get that dial scale out, get it off to the side so I don't create any damage, and I'll be right back. Okay, let's see how this works out now. I've got the dial glass off, and that allows me to access the dial scale, and I can spin that, and I'll put just a little touch of hot glue on just to keep it in a static position once I'm done. So this is the bracket right here. There's a screw that mounts to that, and it appears, if I remember correctly from my documentation, that this piece here will slide between the chassis and this bracket that's affixed at this roughly 45-degree angle. So let me get this underneath here. And that should be, let's see, got to get that down on the tuning mechanism. That looks to be it, but let me make sure from underneath, and I'll take a separate photo and show you guys what I'm talking about. There's the two set screws that attach to the shaft of the tuning condenser. Let me just make sure I've got this thing pushed down far enough that it makes, you know, I've got a great connection point there. Just not sure that I've got this far enough down, so let me look at that off camera and I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back with you. I've got the tuning assembly now remounted in the radio, and it was kind of awkward. It wanted to bind up for whatever reason, and finally got it squared away, and I think I've got it positioned the best I can. Now what I've done, again, I'd removed the dial glass cover, and this allows me to go ahead and move the dial scale. So I'm going to align that off camera, and I'm going to get my glue gun out, and I'm going to just put just a pinch of glue here in one location so I can hold this in place, and then reattach the dial pointer, and I'll probably go ahead and put a temp power cord back on it. We'll you know, give it a spin around the dial. Again, I have not completed an RF alignment, so I don't expect the tracking to be perfect, but I just want to make sure that I get the dial scale oriented in the correct location. Okay, I'm back, and I think I got this aligned correctly now. We'll see. I think I'll go ahead and again, I've got to get my dial lamps reattached, and I'll solder those in real quick, and I think again I'll tack on a temporary power cord, bring this up, and there's some local stations here in the Carolinas I can reference just to see how close the dial is. But from an orientation standpoint, I think I've got the alignment or the scale itself pretty close. Just trying to eyeball it, and it seems to track correctly. Had a little bit of red paint chip off here that I'll have to touch up, but other than that it looks to be it's not binding like it was before for sure. I can even move this thing, so it's nice and free. And I think I've got this position correctly looking at some of my original photos, with the white part of the dial again going toward the broadcast band and the red pointer focused on the shortwave band. So again, let me get the soldering iron heated up real quick. Go ahead and get the dial lamps put back in, get a temporary power cord placed. I'll probably even just jump one in instead of tacking one in. And then we'll bring this thing up and see how well it appears to be tracking here, using some local stations as reference, and if that doesn't suffice, I'll throw on the RF generator at a known frequency using the frequency counter, and we'll go that route and see. Looks like the dial is fairly close. Again, no RF alignment's been completed. This is 7:30 a.m. and each increment here is 20 kilocycles, so I'm about, you know, maybe 20 kilocycles low from where I should be. Let's check a couple other local stations here. We'll look at 1110.
10, 15, $20 million. And people argue about, you know, economic impact, but there's no doubt that it makes a difference in the psyche of the city, and certainly
it's probably not too far off on the high end.
Look, January is not a time of year
I think that's 1140.
yeah, man, disturbances.
So not too bad. Anyway, the other noise you hear is the washing machine, so don't worry about that. I tell you what, let me fire up my RF generator and hook that up to the frequency counter real quick, and just throw a signal out there about 600 kilocycles, and then we'll do another one up here around 1600 just to see how far off the alignment is. Okay, we're not too far off on the high end here. I've got my RF signal generator hooked up, and I've just got a near field probe and about 1600 kilocycles, and that's pretty close on the dial. It's probably not showing up great on camera. Maybe there's a better look. So let me throw another carrier up around 600 kilocycles, and let's see what we've got there. I've got a signal generated now, 600 kilocycles, and you can see that it is tracking a little bit low. So I'm sure once I do the RF alignment, I can bring this thing right back where it needs to be. And it's about probably 20 kilocycles to 25 kilocycles low on the low end. So you can see I'm tracking there around 550, 560, 570. So somewhere between 565 and 570, and I should be about right here at 600 kilocycles. Of course, as I move up the band, that error narrows, so which is to be expected. So there I'm about 20 kilocycles off. So hey, not bad.
Bucks didn't start out that way. After losing to the Panthers back in Week 6, the season...
Be interesting to see what I get here after I do the RF alignment. So again, thanks for checking this out on getting the dial assembly back in.
In the final 7 games.
And stay with me, and yeah, I'll get started on the chassis itself. I thought those grommets looked to be okay on the top side that hold the tuning condenser in. And I hope I don't have to pull it all the way out, but I think I'm going to have to replace those, at least on the front side, because I've got just a little bit of, you can see some movement here. Now some of that's that bracket, because this bracket, it's free floating. That's just the way it's made. So it's just soldered onto the tuning condenser, runs again at about a 45-degree angle. And anyway, that's just the way that that's mounted, the way the design's done. But I'll take a closer look at the grommets when I pull the speaker off of the bracket that has a lot of rust, and then we'll go from there. Thanks again for taking time to watch and following my restorations. Much appreciated.